Hello everybody. So I am just making this, I guess, little public statement, not that anyone actually cares, but I am trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So for my age and gender, that means that I have to run 26.2 miles in 3 hours and 35 minutes or better. So to actually get a spot in the Boston Marathon, I think I have to run around 3 hours and 32 minutes. Regardless, my goal is to run 3 hours and 30 minutes, which is between a 7:45 to 8-minute pace, depending on the mile we're talking about. It's kind of quick. I've been preparing for this race for, I guess, a year and a half, sort of. This will be my third marathon. I ran my first marathon in April 2015, and I ran it in 3 hours and 36 minutes. My goal was to run it under 4 hours. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I ended up doing very well. And once I later, after the fact, learned what the Boston Marathon qualifying time was, I got really motivated to qualify because it wasn't unrealistic. So my second marathon was a year ago. And unfortunately, I was injured. I had IT band syndrome, which is basically a really painful feeling in your knee because your IT band is being pulled and stretched in a way that is not quite natural. And it's what connects, I believe, what connects your hip to your knee and allows things to bend and move and function the way they're supposed to function. And mine was just really irritated and not happy with me. So that race I ran in 3 hours and 52 minutes or something, which is still a pretty good time, but I had to walk a lot and runners don't like walking. But anyway, so I'm back, I'm healthier. I still have some sciatic issues, but I'm all right overall. I'm lucky to be healthy. I've worked very hard on my health through a plant-based vegan diet, which you can see in other videos. But yeah, so I'm back. A year later, a year and a half after I started doing marathons, and I'm really going to try to qualify for Boston. And I'm just so excited because, again, knock on wood, as long as nothing crazy goes wrong, like I don't twist my ankle or, my flight, oh God forbid, like something happens and I don't make it to the marathon, I should qualify. I've been training pretty hard, not crazy hard. I'll talk about that definitely I'll talk about aspects of my training in other videos, but I've been training consistently. I've been training what I think to be intelligently. I've been focused on it, but not to the point that it's my whole life. That's a big point I want to make. I think that qualifying for Boston is realistic for me because I haven't made it my whole life. I haven't become so obsessed with it that it's like an end-all be-all. My whole happiness depends on whether or not I qualify for this race. It doesn't. And not everyone has that luxury. There are some professional runners who rely on sponsors and rely on performing well to make their money. That's a different kind of pressure. I was a Division I athlete. I swam across the country. I know the pressure that can come from coaches and teammates and scholarships and all sorts of this, and sponsors, all sorts of stuff. I know that not everyone is as fortunate as me to just be running totally free for themselves. So recognizing that, I'm thankful for that. But I really do think that helps me actually go faster because I'm doing it for myself. There's internal motivation versus external motivation, which are trophies and other people's praise, things like that. So internally I run because it makes me feel good. It's my space. Running is that time of the day where it's just me time. And everyone has different things that kind of centers them. But for me, I'm in an extremely intense graduate program, and it's a great program. I don't mean to hate on the program, but it's intense, it's tiring, it's distracting, and sometimes you just need to get away from all the noise. And running is that space for me. It's that time where I can just do something really good for my body. It's physical activity, but also just mentally get that break, get that kind of quiet the noise. I might have music or a podcast in my ear, but it's what I choose. It helps me center back into my head and check into what's going on with my body and my mind. And it's also just a natural high. You get the endorphins running from physical exercise, and running is my favorite way to do it. So I am so excited for this marathon in 5 weeks. I think it's 5 weeks. And yeah, the running community is so positive, so upbeat. And or most people who go to marathons and half marathons, you know, maybe not, the professional runners are a whole different level, a different category, but the amateur runners, like, we go to these races, and from my experience, everyone has just been so upbeat and positive. We all have a similar goal. It might, like, whether it's a time goal, a qualifying goal, or just a personal goal, you know, to do something good for yourself. We're all there for what I think is a positive reason. We're all working hard, trying hard, and I've experienced very supportive runners, and supportive volunteers. Like, I have done so far the Toledo Marathon and the Columbus Marathon, both in Ohio, and the runners there and the volunteers there, the race directors there, are just so supportive, so friendly, so positive, so encouraging, so great. And I'm so excited to go back to that environment in a couple weeks. And yeah, so trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon. This is really just kind of a chat. I don't have any major points to make about anything. I'm excited, and I hope it happens. I'll make videos on how I'm trying to do it, how I'm trying to qualify, and then of course I'll make videos on how it went. But I'm so excited, a little bit nervous, but I'm trying to trust that as long as I don't get too worked up about, like, the pressure of you need to qualify, and just remember, no, you don't need to qualify. You really want to qualify, but you're doing it. I need to remind myself that I'm doing it because I love running. It's something that I found athletically that I do for myself, which has never been the case in my life. And I just have to believe that it'll be all right. And even if it's not all right, enjoy the experience anyway. Another thing I forgot to mention is that the reason running is so important to me, other than I do it for myself and self-care is important, is that I was very sick a few years ago. I'm not really going to disclose what was going on fully, but for about 9 years I struggled with something, and it got really, really bad for, I'd say, like 3 years, like very serious. And I recovered from it. And right when I was recovering from it is when I started running, once I was medically safe to do so. And running, basically, the healthier I got, the more easily running came to me, the more running became a celebration of my health and how far I've come. And so running like every year on the anniversary of my recovery I try to do something to celebrate that anniversary. So the first year was a half marathon. The second year was my first full marathon. This past year, I did a number of things. I went skydiving. I graduated from a master's program. I did my thesis. Like, I did all sorts of things that I could not have done a few years ago when I was sick. So this year, even though it's not the anniversary, it's like the 3.5 year anniversary, doing something like qualifying for the Boston Marathon is a huge celebration of how far I've come in terms of my health. And so it's important to me for that reason as well. Qualifying for the Boston Marathon, regardless of your reasons, your motivations, is a huge accomplishment. It's an amazing thing. And so really, any reason to try to qualify, to try to run, is a great reason. A lot of people do it for very noble reasons too, but another reason I want to, other than it's my own personal form of self-care, is that it's a big celebration of how far I come, how great I feel, and a good reminder to me that were this 5 years ago, there's no way I could complete a marathon. There's no way I would be able to run as fast as I do, even for short distances. Like, it's a huge reminder to me, a humbling experience, that I should be thankful for how healthy I am, and proud of how far I've come. And so, yeah, this is a great experience that I'm so excited for. It makes me happy. It's a celebration of how great I feel and how good of a place I'm in. And yeah, so wish me luck. And I will let you know how it goes. So with that, I'll see you for the next video soon. Bye.